This committee is out of hand. All of these committees, man, this is the state of our country now.
I'm not trying to play games. He was first on the left. You were on the right. Both had your hands up. From my interpretation...
He had his hand up, Mr. Chair, he had his hand up before it began. Mine was clearly up when you began the meeting. So he actually pulled his hand down. I've been patient here. It was Conservatives that asked for this hearing along with the block. I think it's incumbent upon the committee to start with those that requested the meeting and then give us and allow the committee to decide its business. So if you'd like, I'd like to start that pursuant to Standing Order 108.
Mr. Kellogg, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
No, and with respect to Mr. Albas and everyone there, I didn't put my hand down. I don't know if there's a timeout function on this particular piece of software or there's a glitch in the system, but I did not put my hand down. I didn't touch the computer, so it wasn't performed by me. So I can only say that I didn't touch a bloody thing. My hand was up first, and then you can make your decisions.
Oh, yeah. The greatest democracy on earth in Canada, right? Like, let's watch how it functions. Let's take a peek. My hand was up first. Come on.
Welcome to meeting number 4 of the Standing Committee on Transport, Infrastructure and Communities. Today's meeting is taking place in a hybrid format, and members are attending. Yes, Mr. Kellaway.
Sorry to interrupt. I want to making sure my hand is up to be on the speaking order, if that's possible. I'm not sure.
I have your hand up, Mr. Kellaway, and I have Mr. Albas's hand up as well.
Okay, thank you.
Point of order.
Attending in person. Let me just get through this, guys.
My hand was up first.
I have a point of order
Chair.
from Mr. Lawrence before I go to those with their hands up. Mr. Lawrence.
Just a quick clarification there, point of order. Mr. Albas, the Zoom does recognize left to right, and Mr. Albas is first there, just for the point of order.
What's that?
Yeah, I was going to put my hand up. Yeah.
So I had, I'll go to you. Well, I had Mr. Kellaway first with his hand up.
He did put his hand down.
Zoom recognizes left to right there. So Mr. Albas was first, and so by rule, you have to recognize him first.
Okay. It was the other way first. I
He
don't.
put his hand down.
So how did that switch over? I don't know.
I didn't put my hand down.
Yes,
I didn't
you
touch
did.
a thing. Well, to be frank, I didn't touch a bloody thing on my computer.
I'm in first here, so I would ask the floor, please.
Just to note, though, in all honesty, I didn't touch anything on this computer.
Mr. Chair?
Would
if
it
I
go
may?
to somebody who's speaking?
Okay, motion for the consideration of the committee today that pursuant to Standing Order 108.
Hold on a second, Mr. Albas. I'm just conferring with the clerk. And I'm just trying to figure out why Mike Callaway was in the top left, you were in the top right, both with your hands up, and then it switched over. That's all I'm
Now
asking.
someone switched off mine here, so I would just like to be able to continue, sir, because we did request, Conservatives and the Bloc did request today's meeting. So I think it's incumbent upon the chair to allow us to go first.
I mean, I can. I also
Okay.
want to do right by Mr.
Great,
Kellaway.
thank
Mr.
you.
Kellaway,
Pursuant to
you had your hand up first. Do you want to cede the floor to Mr. Albas?
Well, I had it up first, so I was planning to
but
go
I had
first.
the floor here, so it's Mr. Chair.
Okay,
I
so I'm
think
gonna
you have to rule on
Mr.
this.
Albas, I'm not trying to play games. He was first on the left. You were on the right. Both had your hands up. From my interpretation,
He had his hand up, Mr. Chair. He had his hand up before it began. Mine was clearly up when you began the meeting. So he actually pulled his hand down. I've been patient here. It was Conservatives that asked for this hearing along with the block. I think it's incumbent upon the committee to start with those that requested the meeting and then give us and allow the committee to decide its business. So if you'd like, I'd like to start that pursuant to Standing Order
Mr.
108.
Kellaway, you have your
the
hand up.
committee-
Go ahead.
No, with respect to Mr. Albas and everyone there, I didn't put my hand down. I don't know if there's a timeout function on this particular piece of software or there's a glitch in the system, but I did not put my hand down. I didn't touch the computer, so it wasn't performed by me. So I can only say that I didn't touch a bloody thing. My hand was up first, and then you can make your decisions accordingly.
Yeah. So the clerk, I asked the clerk to give me a list of who had their hands up. He had looked at me and said, Mr. Kellaway has his hand up. I said, I know. And then he said, Mr. Albas has his hand up. I said, I know. And he started a list. which is why when it switched over, I said, well, how did this switch over? He goes, I don't know, but he has
Mr. Chair, like
the list.
I did start
Point of
my.
order.
So I took this out of my own, right? And so I'm going to recognize
Point of
Mr.
order.
Kellaway because
Point of
the
order.
clerk is
Point
the
of
one
order.
who took, I'll turn it over to you for a point of order, but I'm going to recognize Mr. Kellaway because it was the clerk who took the list of
Before you
those that were
decided
speaking.
that, I would appreciate you hearing interventions from Dr. Lewis and myself.
So I'm going to allow Mr. Kellaway to speak, and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
I would challenge the chair. Challenge
Yeah,
that
we
decision.
challenge the
You can do
chair.
that. But I want you to know, colleagues, with everything going on, I basically asked the clerk to be the one to take note of who was the first to have their hands up.
Mr. Chair, there's
In
no
case I was
debate.
reading my notes.
There's no debate on this motion.
The clerk, I just want you to know, the clerk did that, and therefore, I'm just putting it out there for everyone. So challenge the chair. This is something that cannot be debated. So
Recorded vote.
we'll go to a vote, and we'll go to a recorded vote.
Mr. Graves? Mr. Graves?
Yes, I vote yay with the chair. Thank you.
Mr. Kellaway?
Yes.
Mr. Watron?
I vote yes.
Ms. Nguyen?
I vote yes.
Mr. Albas?
Nay.
Mr. Lawrence?
Nay.
Ms. Lewis?
No.
Mr. Muse?
Nay.
Monsieur Barcelou-Duval?
No.
Nays 5, yeas 4.
Okay, so based on what they're saying. Okay, Mr. Albas, I've switched the order. It's now you first, then Mr. Kellaway, and then Mr. Lawrence, if Mr. Lawrence still wants to speak.
Thank you, Chair, and
Okay.
thank you, committee members. That pursuant to Standing Order 108, the committee urgently undertake a study of the Canada Infrastructure Bank decision to provide $1 billion in low-interest financing to BC Ferries for the purchase of new vessels from a Chinese state-owned shipyard. The committee hold one meeting to receive testimony from the following witnesses for an hour each, separately, and that this meeting be convened as efficiently as possible within 30 days following the adoption of this motion. 1, the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure. 2, the Minister of Transport and Internal Trade. 3, the CEO of the Canada Infrastructure Bank. 4, the CEO of BC Ferries. And immediately following the conclusion of witness testimony at the meeting, the chair be instructed to recognize a member from an opposition party for the purposes of considering a motion containing recommendations related to the study, and not more than 1 hour be provided for debate on the motion, and that every question necessary to dispose of the motion be put before the meeting can be adjourned. And en français,
Merci, mais non.
this motion to the clerk in both official languages for circulation, and I'm prepared now, if you see it in order, to start the debate on said motion. I do have my thoughts. Just let me know if I have the floor to continue at this time, or if you want to give it a moment to send it to all members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albas. I have confirmed we have received it. He is going to circulate it. I see Mr. Kellaway's hand up. Is that because you haven't received it, Mr. Kellaway?
No, I was just going to ask, and my hand is up, as it was last time. But we're looking to obviously have it circulated, which you just said it is, but we'd like to have just a few moments to take a look at it if that would be okay with everyone
How
there.
long do you think that'll take, Mr. Clerk? So I'm going to suspend for about 5 minutes just to make sure everybody gets a copy of it, and then we can review it. And then, Mr. Albas, the floor will be yours to speak to the motion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That works for everyone? Okay, this meeting is suspended.
It just keeps spinning further out of control. This meeting is crazy. Kellogg is a bum. This is crazy, guys. This is committee. It's supposed to be serious. It's a joke.
This meeting back to order. I will turn the floor over to Mr. Albas first, and then I had Mr. Barcelou-Duval on the list, followed by Mr. Kellaway, and then Dr. Lewis. So, Mr. Albas, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Appreciate that this is not an easy time for any of us, but as I said at our first meeting, this is an issue that I think the Transport Committee needs to be seized with. Essentially, we have found a continuing story of where we find new insights as to what the government is doing, and it's not good. Originally, when I pressed the Minister of Transport on this in the House of Commons, she actually said that she wrote a letter outlining her concerns that the BC Ferries, which is owned by the good people of British Columbia, was purchasing ships. And I won't go through the whole June 16th, 2025 letter. Remember, this was only about 3 weeks ago. But I'm just read the first paragraph and the last. It is with great consternation and disappointed that I learned of BC Ferry's recent announcement that it has selected China Merchants Industry Weihai shipyards to build 4 new major vessels. And the last paragraph, I am dismayed that BC Ferries would select a Chinese state-owned shipyard to build new ferries in the current geopolitical context, and I ask that you verify and confirm with utmost certainty that no federal funding will be diverted to support the acquisition of these new ferries. And yet, we find out through the media that the hapless new Minister of Housing and Infrastructure knew nothing of a $1 billion loan agreement that had been signed by the Canada Infrastructure Bank, essentially financing with taxpayer dollars the outsourcing of Canadian jobs to the shipyard in China. Imagine my shock, Mr. Chair, that we learned that during a time of unjustified steel and aluminum tariffs, where people are receiving pink slips for their jobs because of these American tariffs, that we find that they find that their own government is actually using their tax dollars to subsidize jobs and economic activity outside the country. And so I think it's completely on us as a committee to demand answers from both the Minister of Transport and Internal Trade and the Minister of Housing and Communities, because they do not appear to be on the same page. And anytime we're talking about scarce public taxpayer dollars, effectively incentivizing other corporations to do the same, Mr. Chair, to seek financing for a project, I don't understand how this is even within the Canadian Infrastructure Bank's mandate. And that's why the CEO of the Infrastructure Bank itself has been called in our motion specifically. Now, obviously, BC Ferries, there's a lot of questions. I've spoken to many reporters in British Columbia who have a number of different questions outlining the procurement and some of the details that come with this. But again, my focus is largely on getting answers so that people can know whether or not their government, remember the government that said elbows up, Canada strong, we can build it together, is in fact actually financing the outsourcing of Canadian jobs. And it doesn't seem that anyone up until the Conservatives, and I also should thank my colleague from the Bloc for supporting this emergency meeting today so that we can bring this important issue forward. Mr. Chair, last thing I'll just simply say, Conservatives are demanding answers for concerned Canadians, many who are facing job losses in their communities over unjustified steel and aluminum tariffs, and yet they read in their newspapers that their own governments, both provincial and federal, and particularly as a federal member of parliament, I find it outrageous that the Crown Corporation known as the Canadian Infrastructure Bank is actively financing the outsourcing of Canadian jobs. This is wrong. We need to have some answers to the government's true position on this, because we have conflicting reports that have played out over the media, and I really do hope that this committee can get behind this particular motion and that we can have those ministers and CEOs of these corporations and from the Canadian cabinet come and actually answer our questions, as uncomfortable as they may be. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albas. Mr. Kellaway.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the time. Just on the motion here, couple of things come to mind. I don't believe that we should conclude a study or make recommendation without careful consideration to any study. So, from my point of view, any report should have expert analysis done by the committee's analyst, and we shouldn't guillotine or presuppose the witness testimony by making recommendations right after. We should hear from the witnesses first, so we shouldn't basically presuppose the outcomes of the study. For example, a member is more than welcome to make a motion, undertake a report, but that should be done by analysts following witness testimonies. So, from our prerogative, we would, look to strike that last paragraph of the conservative motion, and I put that up there for consideration. Thank you.
Okay, what would the last, so, and starting with and immediately following the conclusion? Is that correct? Okay. Do members all understand the amendment put forward by Mr. Kellaway?
And what I'd like to just point out about Mr. Callaway's amendment is effectively he wants to push any timely recommendations as far back as possible to give the government as much clearance as possible so that they can either let the story die over the summer. And, as responsible parliamentarians, if we expect to have a government, a minority government, I'll just remind everyone, that will listen to Canadians and listen to their representatives, it's important for us to be able to immediately make recommendations that the government will see and hear, and to have those recommendations, if we find through the process there's important public policies such as not financing with federal tax dollars through the Canadian Infrastructure Bank, steel, aluminum, and shipbuilding jobs in another country, particularly China. So this is an area that Chrystia Freeland, the Minister of Transport, has been very public about, that she has huge concerns. So therefore, I think that we need to be able to push those in power positions of leadership, that they immediately act on something. I do not need an analyst, with all due respect, analysts do very good work, but I do not need to have an analyst give me a data-driven response for something that I know is wrong. Outsourcing Canadian jobs is always wrong, and it's even worse when we have these unjustified steel and aluminum tariffs. I hope Liberals will understand that. I hope that they will not support this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albas. I'll go back to Mr. Kellaway.
Yeah, just a couple of key points on what's been said here. For me, the amendment is put forward because it's the responsible thing to do in terms of the analysis of the witness testimony, and not presuppose those recommendations. It's not who's more Canadian or who's more focused. We all want to work. We want to see work completed by Canadians. We want work done by Canadians, but we also don't want to presuppose anything that may be not beneficial to the country writ large, or in this example. So that's just, I wanted to put that in there. It is from a process perspective in terms of getting the best recommendations, going through the right process to get them, and to doing this strategically. It's not to avoid anything. It's not to remove anything. There is no grand conspiracy here. We want to get to the heart of the matter, but we want to do it the right way and the right process. And I think that's all, that's what all parliamentarians share. So I just wanted to put that on the record. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kellaway. I have nobody left in the speakers list for the amendment proposed by Mr. Kellaway, and therefore we will go to a vote. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Clerk.
Recorded vote, please.
Yes, recorded vote.
Oh, yeah. What is going on? Is that what it's come down to? They have a committee in the summer, to investigate why we're giving China $4 billion when we have shipyards here in British Columbia. Oh, yeah. There's way more to this video. We have Dr. Leslyn Lewis. She's got a doctorate in law, so watch out. She's one to watch. Man, she's sharp. But that's another video. This will be too long if we put that in there. My goodness. My hand was up first. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Aaron Kennedy and Looney. It's a farce That's the way I see it. Till the next video, thank you for watching this one. We'll catch you next time, guys. Smash the subscribe. I'm trying to get someplace. Like, help me out. That's it. Catch you in the next video. Later, gang. Watch the Leslie Lewis bit. This lady is sharp.